mentioned, that I shared, and the idea to try to replicate them. Okay, so this is what I did, right? Now, this is what someone did, right? So obviously this person got the concept that there's a picture on the background, the picture has an overlay, and then there's just a collage of pictures all around with a white box with round curves and text on top of it, right? The only details that were missed out were, number one, the aspect ratio of the file I used. So this is a square shape, so I expected the person to use a square shape, right? Number two is the fact that if you notice, I did some interesting play with the overlay. So here, it feels like this is on top of the shape, right? And sometimes this feels like it's under the shape, okay? This feels like it's on top of the shape. This feels like it's on top of the shape, right? So obviously the way to do that is just to change the position, and I explained how the position works. So you can just do this backwards and it's going to go backwards, forwards is going to come forward, right? Or see the shortcut here, command left thing, what's the word of that thing? Academic bracket, command academic bracket left, you go back, right? So, and apart from that, the only other thing that I did, just to be specifically different, if you noticed, you see that what I have here is an actual image, right? So I created an overlay. And how did I create an overlay? Just by coming to elements, right? Shape, expand the shape, obviously is a square, expand the shape, and then reduce the opacity, right? And there we go. So now I just need to drag it down. So what I'm doing is I'm changing the position. So I want to increase it a little more just so it feels darker, right? And there you go. That's as simple as it was, right? And then the text, simple, simple, and simple. Okay. Does anyone have any difficulty with? Okay, now the last thing is you can't see my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
I can see your screen very clearly and I can hear you clearly.
Okay, so check your network or try to pin my screen on your app. Somebody is raising up his hand. Folu Ashiwaju, do you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to say some things, what I noticed about the assignment. I feel like there are some elements and fonts that are available on the MacBook that is not on Windows. I don't know, but I found it incredibly hard to trace, to try to replicate, especially this one you are doing now. I'm very, very interested in because give me a great deal of time. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. So I can categorically tell you that there's nothing different on my Windows and Mac because it works on web. So even if I use Linux, it will be the exact same thing because it's a web-based app. Okay. So now the only difference is I think I've explained every other thing except the shape of this thing. So all you need to do is come to elements, right, and come to frames, right? So I used a type of frame that you will find under the frame. So instead of a regular frame, if you look closely, you would see that I used a frame that had some type of shape around it. So once you come into this frame section, you see this is it. So once I click here, it's going to open here, right? And like I showed you yesterday, for frames, all you need to do is import the frame, right? If you have your image somewhere, copy and paste it. If you don't have your image somewhere, if you have your image uploaded already, just select your image and drag it into the frame, and there you go. So all I did was rotate and then adjust, and yeah. So imagine me doing this for every single image, right? Apart from that, there's nothing else that I did here that I haven't explained. Is there any other thing that I did here that no one understands yet?
No.
Okay. So like I said yesterday, the point of the assignment is just to actually help you to explore around the app, find out new, I'm sure, is there any other person, or are there people here who actually found new things that they weren't looking for and they found those things to be interesting?
Yep.
Yeah, right. So that's kind of like the essence
Yep.
of the assignment, apart from obviously trying to achieve the exact same thing achieved. And another thing is like school, right? In school, you know, where they give you assignment, like imagine everything you had to do in school was learn in class and you didn't have assignments, you didn't have term paper. There's only so little you will learn from me speaking to you, right? So much of the learning is in you actually doing the design. Sorry, my light is messing up. Okay, right? So that's where the major work is, right? So all right, so I'm done with this. I will open the next one. Now, everything you see here is as simple as, so obviously this is a text box, right? So let me duplicate this so you can see it. This is a text box. This is a text box, right? You can see text in the box basically, right? If I delete it, it's no longer there. This is a shape, or this is an image, right? That I rotated to look like this. Okay, this is a group of texts. This is text, and this is a shape. Like you remember the kind of shape we used yesterday, right? So this time I didn't put the whole shape because I don't need everything. So I just let some parts of it go inside, and I brought the text over it, right? This is just a tag element, and you'll find the tag element in element section, right? So just type tag, right? So you find stuff like this. So imagine I click this, for example, right? I change the color to green and the other color to another shade of green, basically, right? So once you find the exact tag that I used, or a similar tag to something that I used, right? So this is the exact one I used, if you can see now, right? So what I had to do was just rotate, change color, and I did what I did, right? And then on group, you see that I added text here. So when I added the text, I had to make sure that the text was aligned with the exact same shapes, with the alignment of the document, okay? Not the document, sorry, with the alignment of the tag, right? So that's it. This is an image, obviously. This is text, this is shape, this is obviously a rectangle, right? This is text, shape, and text, and that's everything, right? So like I said, today I'm going to do a lot of introduction into color, texture, principles, and elements, right? So I just want to do this to give you an idea to show you how easy it is. So while I'm explaining the principles and all of that, you will have a good idea of how they can be applied practically, okay? So let me close this and show you the next one that I sent, right? For this, okay.
Yeah, for the design you actually just closed, I wanted to ask. I was
Okay.
not in yesterday's class, so that brush stroke part, it looked like there was a gradient, like a combination of two
Yes.
colors. I was not able to replicate that.
Okay, so I showed gradients yesterday. Actually, when yesterday's class. Okay, I don't think we were yesterday's class. All right,
No,
so
I
I showed how to
wasn't.
do the
I
gradient.
wasn't.
Okay, so the gradient thing is really simple. When you come here, come to elements, right? Under elements, you see all the shapes and stuff, and then go down to gradients. So once you click gradients, you start to see all the different types of gradients, right? So once you find, so this is the exact one I used, and it's free, obviously. So once you select it, just change the colors. So imagine I change this to this color, and then this color. So I've made this exact. Right. That's how I made it. You're clear?
Okay. Yeah. Then this rectangle where you put what you learn on,
Okay. Yeah.
was that how you got it? Oh, I got a rectangle. I made a rectangle, but I was not able to like put a border radius. Like the
Oh,
edges are kind of curved. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
yes. Yes, yes. So if you come to shapes, you'll find a curved square. So all you need to do is just adjust it to the size you want.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other question before I move forward?
Yes, I have a question. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, David. Please, this after what you learn, how to measure your meals for weight loss and all of that, how were you able to number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Because I was having issues that if you check my assignment, I left everything as one because I tried to change them and it wasn't going through for me.
Okay, okay. So all you need to
where
do
did you get your pound sign? Is it from your keyboard system?
Yes, from my keyboard system. Oh no, I copied this from the internet actually. So I googled pounds.
I was just about to say that I copied mine from the internet. Yeah.
Yeah. I found it wasn't on the keyboard. I copied it from the internet. So just find pound.
Oh, it was on my own keyboard.
It was on a keyboard. Okay, it should be on my keyboard actually, but I don't think I used my keyboard that day. But I don't even know whether it's there or not. But you can find it on the internet. So if you have any difficulty with stuff like that, just Google, right? You'll find. Trust me. When I'm designing, when I'm taking you through my design process, I'll show you how much of it actually just involves going on Google and finding stuff, right? All right. So let's move on to this. Can I move on to this? Any questions so far? Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, so you look at your rounded rectangle. The one you picked
Yeah.
actually is not the same size with this. That was my issue. So, like, what I mean is, if you pick it and you try to reduce it, it stops at a point. It does not go further.
Okay. So
And then if you go and look
yes.
for others too, they were having the same issue. So I want to know, did you pick another one or you created the shape yourself? That's what I want to know.
No, I didn't create the shape myself. So there's a hack, right? So I'm going to make this exact shape I made now, right? When you drag to the left, right, drag to the right, right, and you bring this down to the lowest point possible, bring this down to the lowest point possible, right? You see that it feels like it's no more going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
What you need to do now is drag this and then drag to the right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yep.
Yeah, so you can just make it smaller from the edge and drag to the right. Same thing if you want to do it the other. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you very
David,
much.
I'm so sorry. Please, the numbering, I still didn't get
So
it.
sorry.
Please, thank you.
Okay. Let me do the numbering quickly. Right. So the numbering I showed numbering yesterday. Once you come here to bullet points, that's where it is. Did you get that? So let me start
Yes,
afresh.
I went to bullet points, but it didn't. It just kept giving me the points and then number one. So each one was number one. How I tried to group all the different points together. I tried to group them and then bullet points, but it wasn't responding to me.
Okay. So another thing you can also do instead of doing bullet points, you can actually just do like the keyboard is going to work. You do one dot and you type, right? So number one, come home. Number two, go home. Number three, stay. Number four, why, right? So once you align to the left,
You just press enter.
Did you get that?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
You're welcome. So then here you can now change it and all of that. Any other question?
Okay, yes. I'm sorry. Are we moving on from this particular design? Like, we're not going to come back to this particular aspect of the assignment.
Yes, after this, we're moving to the next one.
Okay. I wanted to ask how you were able to divide.
I understand the fonts, but I thought you meant
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
Sorry, who was asking the question? Okay, Godia.
Yes.
I wanted to ask if what font type are you using, or what's the font?
Okay. So I'm going to have another course where I'm going to teach the exact font types that I'm using and how to choose the type of font to use. But the exact font I use here is Open Sans, right? So you can see that here. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Yes. So the font I use here is DM Serif Display.
Okay. Thank you.
Those are two fonts. All right. Any other question?
Yes, please. David, I wanted to ask how, I'm so sorry to take us back. I wanted to ask how you were able to divide the design into two different colors, like one in the up, one different color up, one different color down, because I struggled with it. So I found a way around it. I just used the image, yes, the Apple image up, and then covered it down.
Exactly. That's
green.
exactly what I did.
So, but then
so if you see, this is a square.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's
But it
exactly
was really a struggle. So I think okay. So the struggle, so the work is in finding the perfect picture, right?
Yes. Yeah. The work is in finding the perfect picture. Yeah.
Okay.
The work is in finding the perfect
picture. Okay.
Another thing you can also do, if you don't find a perfect picture, if you find, I was going to show you a website, remove.bg, right? It's a website where you can remove background, right? So upload an image. Let me find an image from my download folders and just remove the background, right? So for example, this image, the one we used yesterday, imagine I want to remove the background. Although on the paid version of Canva, you can remove the background, but if you don't have the paid version, you can just do this on the internet, download it, then upload it into your Canva document. Okay, so if you look now, you see that the background has been removed, right? So all I need to do is download, allow, and then I can import it into my documents by just dragging it into it when I'm pasting.
Okay.
Right?
So okay.
So I've done the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask that if you remove the background, how does one now? How are you now able to still split the same design into two different colors? Because removing the background now means that you have to now choose a background color by yourself in Canva, and then I don't know, is it possible to have two different colors in one design? How do you get to split?
Okay,
do you understand my question?
I'm not sure, but let me try and attempt it, right? What I did now, because so when I imported this image that you're seeing here, right, it came with its own background, right? So what I did to make it blend was I made the main background the exact color of this background. Okay. So if I change the color of this background to white, you would see it now. Okay. Oh, I actually removed the background. I just realized I removed the background for this image. I removed the background for this image, and yeah, I removed the background. Yeah. So, for example, right now it's a white background, but it still kind of works. Yeah. But because of this square that I did, this square that is here, that's what makes it have the dividing factor. Do you get? So once I put it, for the difference. Yeah, it was just a square. I just put the square, and you can see that it's transparent a little. So what I did was the opacity. I removed it from to 95, just to give it a little transparency, but not too much, just a little, so that it's still very visible text on the background. Do you get?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. One last thing, please. The what you learn, the foundation of what you learn, the red thing, it's a shape, right? What shape is it?
It's a curved. I just explained it here. It's this shape, the curved rectangle, square.
Curved
Sorry,
rectangle. Okay.
curved square. Yeah. So once you import the shape, just drag it, reduce it to the barest minimum, drag it up again, and increase it, and then you get the shape you want.
Okay. I used brush instead. Thank you. Thank you, David.
You're welcome. Any other question before I move forward? Please feel free to ask if you're not clear. I don't want anyone to leave not clear about anything. Can we move now? All right, so let's move. All right, so for this one has some animations, so I think it might have been pretty more difficult, but not that difficult because I explained animations yesterday already. Right, so let me duplicate this page and show you what it's like. All right, so duplicate, right? Like I said, a huge element of your design can be finding just the perfect image. Okay, so obviously this is just an image of a lemon. Why is it not moving? Okay, so delete, 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 right? So it's literally just an image of a lemon. Okay, I just deleted it, right? Image of a lemon, text. I used Norway star. Okay, no. This is somebody else's design. I even mistake because I know I used Beba's new, right? So this is not even my design. This is someone's assignment, and the person did it very well. Okay, so this is actually somebody's assignment. I'm just realizing. Yeah, I just realized because this is not the font I use for this. So yeah, whoever this is, well done. I think I have an idea, but let me not cast you. Right. So this is really good. This is literally almost exactly what I did. Right. Except the font I used was a little different, but it's almost the exact same effect. The font I used was Bebas, the same font that I used when I was doing the serif that time. Right. So, but it's the bold version. So yeah, that's the only thing. Apart from that, and you can see that they are quite similar, right? So, but obviously, the goal was for you to replicate it to the best of your ability, which was obviously well achieved, right? So, does anyone have any difficulties with this particular design right now?
I struggled with getting the animation on top right.
Okay. Well, if you another thing that I also want to let you learn is the patience to search, right? Everything I use here is on Canva. If you stayed long enough in the elements, if you go to elements and go to stickers, right, you'll find it here. It's here somewhere. Just keep going down and down and down, and you find it, right? So that's literally the only thing I can say about that. Except, well, under stickers, because elements is under stickers, so you can search for flower. Let's see if flower will show under stickers, because we're under stickers, right? So, but because we're under elements, it's literally showing every flower element. Okay,
Yeah,
so let
I
me see
think
if you can
for
just
me,
go
I found
achieve.
enough flower, then I adjusted the filter to animation. So I found something
Exactly.
similar, not the exact one though. It was white, not colored like this.
Okay, can you see it
You
already?
can just search for animated flower, and then I think it pops up when you search animated flower.
Exactly. So there are many ways to find it. I will typically go through stickers
Yeah, this
and
was
just
the
find
one
the
I
sticker.
used. The white one, the first
Right.
one was one I used. I didn't find it.
Okay.
Oh, wow,
Can you
see
see
it
this?
here.
This is right here.
And I actually did not
So
see it.
yeah, so it's actually like the diligence of actually going and painstakingly trying to find because sometimes you would want to convey a particular concept and you want to ensure that you have the exact thing to do what you're doing. Another thing that you can do is to find a GIF online, right? So let's just say I'm looking for flower GIF, right? Now I'm going to see plenty flower GIFs. Okay. Now I don't know if GIFs have the same copyright issues with pictures, but if you find a nice GIF, I think you can use it. Okay. So right, so this is a GIF, obviously, right? If I download, okay, let me just copy. So copy image and sorry, paste. Okay, so Canva doesn't work with GIFs actually, except, let me see, uploads. Okay, so Canva doesn't work with GIFs actually, except you can upload it as a video, right? Another way, because Canva obviously wants to make money, they will have some pro things. So if you don't find some things in easy version, what you can do, which is a long route, is convert the GIF to an MP4, right? If you convert the GIF to an MP4, you upload the MP4 version, because obviously Canva supports videos. You can upload it and it's going to play like a video. Okay, so that's a hack if you want to achieve something like that. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So for this particular one, is there any other thing that anyone has any issues with that someone wasn't able to figure out?
I was in the class yesterday, so I was trying to, that logo underneath. I wasn't sure. Maybe you uploaded from your laptop or it was in Canva itself.
Well, it was a minor detail. If you didn't do it, I wouldn't have bothered. But I mean, if you did it and went the extra mile, that would have been amazing. But it wasn't a big deal. But it was basically text. The texts aren't exactly on Canva, but if you find something similar, right, it can work. Because obviously through Canva, you can actually replicate some things that you find online. So even if you don't find the exact font, you can find something very close to it. And this is actually kind of close to what I did. So yeah.
Okay,
Any other question? Okay.
I have a question.
All right.
Okay, for animation for the text, is there like hierarchy for which one comes first? Like I think your own something big is coming came before the Saturday and 30th of and the date.
Yes.
And then
So
secondly, for the Saturday, for the date, the animation I didn't actually get them.
Okay.
It looked like the one you used was for the paid version.
Oh, okay. That's very possible actually. Let me see. So if you look at this, the text animation for this. Oh yeah. It's no, I'm trying to find it. Feed block. No. It wasn't paid, it's block. And block is free. Did you see it? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
I can hear
David.
you, but
Okay, so it wasn't a paid one, it was a free one. It was block.
Okay, block for the date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for dates. So for hierarchy, what happens just like Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and any other things, whichever one you put in first comes first. Whichever you put second comes second. Whichever you put third comes third. Do you get? So let me show you. If this is an, for example, right? I create an element. I add this shape, right? Obviously, the shape is the first thing I added, right? And then I add text and I say phone. Oh, yeah, no. I'm sorry, I don't know what this thing is slowing down. Okay, let me add text, right? So first, right? If you see, this is first, right? First, then I'm going to add another text. Second, and then I'm going to add another one, third, right? So if I do a page animation, right, it's going to work in the order of first, second, and third, right? When I come here and I do a page animation, did you see that?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Exactly. So that's how it works. Second, third. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice. So can we move to the next one? Is there any other thing that anyone has an issue with for this particular design?
She does it to animate the text based on how you put them on the page, Abby.
Yes, yes. So the first thing you put is going to be the first to show, the first to animate.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So if you did a rough design and you weren't particular about the order, what you want to do is create another page and then start adding them individually. So imagine I've done this design and I wasn't particularly doing which is first or which is second. I'm just going to create a new page, right? Delete everything and start adding all the elements one by one in the order in which I want them to appear. So I'll just come here and click something, Control C, Control V, something will come first, big, C, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
No,
Exactly.
No, I don't understand what you just said.
Okay, so I was explaining that, for example, sometimes when you're designing, you might not necessarily put everything in the order in which you wanted it to be, if you want it to be animated. Okay, so for this design, let's assume that I did not arrange the animation, I did not arrange the order of elements in the way I want them to be animated. Imagine that I put big first, and then I put this second, and I put this third, and I put this fourth, and I put this fifth, right? What I'm going to want to do is create another page and just start adding them in the order in which I want them to appear. Did you get that?
Okay, so what you're saying is that I necessarily. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing you say is that for like video you did, the assignment you gave us, I necessarily don't have to arrange the elements the way I want. I mean, the way I want it to be shown on the video, right?
Okay, I'm saying that you need to, but in the situation where you did not plan to, right? And you did not arrange them in a particular order, what you need to do. So, for example, the example I gave is imagine that I did the design and I did not arrange it, right? Okay. And I want to rectify that because I want to make it animated and I want them to show in a particular order. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be copying them and placing them in the order in which I want them to appear, so that when I animate that page, the way I put them on that page is the way they will appear.
All right. So yeah, I do now. For the assignment, what I did was the lemon, the background, lemon background, and all of that. I saw one of the pictures in the on Canva, and then I put it there. So by the time I did everything and I played the video, everything just played at once, which is different from what you did. So the lemon background came first, then the big, then something, and then it's coming and all of that. But when I did it, when I did everything, it just played at one single video, which is different from what you did. So I was just trying to find out what I did wrong.
Okay. So what you can do, right? The only other thing right now is you can remove animations for some elements. So if you don't want something to be animated, you can remove it. So for example, the background, right? If I want to remove the animation for the background, all I need to do is click none, and then the background will not be animated. Okay, so.
Okay, so what you're saying is sorry, for the
last page.
If I want to, can you hear me?
Sorry, so let me explain it again, right? There are actually two types of animation, right? There's page animation and there's element animation. Okay, so page animation is kind of automatic. If I arrange all my elements in this design in a particular order, and I click on page and I click on the background, right? And I click animate. So here, because there's an animation here already, once you click on this and you click on a particular type of animation, let's say you do pan, right? Everything is going to come in the order in which you place them, okay? Now, if you want to be specific for some elements to have a different type of animation, then you are now going to have to use individual animation for text or elements. So, for example, if I click here, all you are seeing here is that the animation I'm putting is going to affect everything, right? But if I click on one element in my design and I come to animate, you see that here is showing text animation. So the animation that I'm doing right now is going to affect only this text. Do you get that?
All right. Yes, I do. So I guess my mistake was I just did normally. I didn't go to page animations at all. Although I think I came across this by virtue of my search or something. I understand now. Thank you.
Okay. All right, no problem. Any other questions before I move on from this?
Yes, please. I was going to ask the growing with flow, the I. How did you write the I?
Yeah. Which I?
So growing with the I, you can see that it's different.
This?
That text.
This text?
Yes, the I in with, growing with, yes. How do
okay. No, so it's actually like the regular I just added that thing to the top. I just added those elements to the top. Can you see clearly now?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't do this on Canva, so I mentioned that earlier. I didn't do this exactly on Canva, but you can make something very close to this with Canva as well. You notice this is the exact same shape, just in 3 different sizes. So 1, 2, 3. So I enlarged. This is the first one. I rotated it to be like this. I duplicated it and enlarged it to be this big. Then I duplicated this and enlarged this to be this big. And then I rotated them to come from the same location. That's why it looks like this.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Any other question before we move on from this? All right. So let's move on to the next one. International Women's Day.
It's giving me serious headache.
Like it seemed like the simplest, but it was the most difficult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I agree.
Gosh.
I was stressed.
I'm waiting for David to say he didn't use Canva.
As in, I'm just.
So let me redesign this for you. Yeah. I said, so let me just redesign this for you. Okay. So look at this, right? Basic thing, we have a background, right? Let me open the background. So I'm going to elements. I'll create a rectangle, obviously, right? Which is my starting point. Okay. Now, this is like one of the major things. All you need to do is come to elements and just type women. Yeah, it's literally right here. Just click. There you go. Although I changed the color. So if yours didn't look like this, it's because I changed the color. Okay, so you can change the color from here. So the one that is blue, if you want their hair to be black, just change it to black. If you want the color of all the women to be brown skin girls, you can change it here. If you want their clothes to be red, you can change it here. Okay, so that's literally how this happened. All right.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm so sorry. Please, how are you changing the colors of different items? Like, is it that you tapped the hair and tapped and changed the color? How did it work?
Okay, let me you. I think I was too fast, right? Delete. Now I searched women and I imported the picture, right? I dragged it down, right? Now when you look at this picture, as you're looking at this like this, When you look up here, you see 5 different colors. All these colors are colors that are in this design.
Right.
Okay. So if you see this blue now, this blue here, if you see this brown, this is the color of this brown skin.
Okay.
If you see this pink, yes. If you see this one, this is the color of this lady's skin. If you see this is the color of their dress as well, right?
Okay, sorry. So
if you want
are these the image colors you were looking for? Yes, in yesterday's class that weren't showing when you uploaded an image.
This is different. Elements. You know, I told you yesterday that elements, you can change the color of elements, but you can't change the color of stickers. Okay.
Yes.
So look at this. If I import this, for example, right, I can change the color of this thing to white. And then I can change the color of the inside to green. Did you see that? So elements, you can change the color of the elements on Canva. Okay, it's stickers that you can't change their color.
Okay.
Do you get that now? All right. Okay. So now once you import the image, okay, and you go to you come here to just change the colors that you want. So in case I want to change the hair to something much darker, I'll just change it by coming here and selecting the color that I want. If I select this, okay, this will appear. All right. If I select this color, it means any color I click on is going to change the color of the black. Okay, are you following me so far?
Yes.
Okay, so this color is brown. Obviously, I can see brown here. If I want to change the color of this brown to maybe a lighter shade of brown, I just need to click on another color and it's going to change.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so that's exactly how it works. Okay. Is everyone following at this point? Have I lost anybody yet?
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Okay, so here I've changed the colors already, right? Now, let me show you everything that's here. So this is simply an element, right? Once you come to your elements and you search flower, right? You're going to see many different things. So you actually need to scroll and scroll and scroll till you find exactly what you're looking for. Okay, Canvas library is really large, so take your time and really move around. Okay, so sometimes it requires a lot of patience to find exactly what you're looking for, especially because in this case I needed a direct replica. So you have actually had to really look for the exact element that I used. Okay, so I'm still trying to find it. This is something similar, but it's not exact. So I'm just going to look around until I find the exact thing. Okay, so let me try plants. You can see, if you look closely, you see that everything here, they are just like different things that I just added together, right? One last thing that you'll probably not get on Canva, you definitely not get on Canva, is the background image I used. I got this image from raw pixels. So raw pixels.
So you said you got the image from, you got the background from where?
I got the background image from somewhere else. It's online. Yeah, I told you, I told you that the images, that you don't have to find all your images on Canva. You can actually find something similar online. So, I mean, and like I said, right, the goal wasn't, I wasn't going to, the idea was for you to just get to as close as possible. Okay, so white background. Yeah, I said I was going to share the link. So here, this is the image. Can you see it? So this is the image of the background.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and honestly, I remember saying this yesterday, that one of the major things that will separate your design many times from, in quotes, regular Canva designs is when you get your images from outside Canva. Okay. So it's going to look almost like you get. So we're still going to, we still have 3 more weeks, obviously. So there's still a lot more that I'm going to show you, right? So let me do this. So, right, I'm going to just paste my image here. Once I paste it, I'm just going to spread it up, down to all the sides. All right. And then there we go. It's on the background now. Okay.
Wow.
Right.
So how did you do that now? How did you change it?
Okay, let me redo it. Right. Watch me from the start. Okay, this is a blank page. All right. Don't lose me. This is a blank page. I search for the image, right click, copy image, come to Canva, paste. Right, so the image appears here. Now, because the image is not full screen, right, you see these things here, they are for adjusting the image. So as you are moving it up and down, the great thing about Canva is Canva does not let you destroy the aspect ratio of your pictures like many other apps will do. What is aspect ratio? Aspect ratio is the exact way an image was designed. For example, do you know the weird thing? I can't even destroy an aspect ratio in Canva. That's how intuitive Canva is. Once you go outside the design aspect ratio of an image, it literally just changes the size. Okay, so basically, as I'm moving this upwards, if it was a regular design app, it will just stretch the image. Canva is not going to stretch the image. It's simply going to expand the canvas in which the image is occupying. Okay, so I'm just going to drag down. And another thing that's really easy if you want to do it quickly is press Alt on your keyboard. Option on Mac, Alt on keyboard on Windows. Sorry. Once you drag, it's going to drag on 2 ends instead of doing 4 times. Okay, did you get that?
Yeah.
You mean copy and paste?
Yeah, I did.
No, after pasting the image, I'm talking about when you're dragging on each side.
It's like my network is dragging. Okay, I'm hearing you. I can hear you, David. Sorry.
Okay. I'll take it again. I'm just showing you this to make your workflow faster. Okay. Typically, if you did not know, what you would have had to do is drag the first one, drag the second one, drag the third one, and drag the fourth one. Okay. Right. So there's a faster way.
I can't hear anything.
I'm sorry?
Okay. Can everyone hear me now? Let me know if you have any network issues. Am I slow on everybody's end, or is it just some particular people?
Well, I can hear you, but it looks like your voice is faster than the movements on your screen. I think that's my network, not you. So just continue.
Okay, let me go off.
I'm having serious network issues.
I don't think it's from you. That's what I'm saying. It's not from you. I don't think it's from your network. So just continue. I think I'll check back at the recording. So it should be
okay. The recording will be available. So if you don't find anything here, I'll upload it on a private YouTube account that you guys will have access to. Okay. So basically, what I was trying to explain is, all right, there's an Alt key on your keyboard if you're using Windows, and on Mac is Option. Once you click on it, if you drag anything, it's going to drag on both ends. Right?
Okay.
So yeah. If I'm dragging here, it's going to drag on every side at the same time. So the odd thing is kind of like just picking the whole box together instead of picking it side by side. Okay, so those are some of the little things that you can master to make your workflow faster. Okay, that was a nice one. Right, so yeah, so now another thing that I want to show you, when you do something like this on Canva, right, your image is inside your box and it has been spread inside the shape. All right, now what you want to do is, depending on what you want to show, okay, so if you double click on your image, I just double clicked on my image now, I can see all the other parts of my image that are not shown. Okay, so there are some particular parts of the image that I want to show. So what I need to do is I just need to drag this upwards, okay, and then the particular parts that I want to show will now show. So if you notice before, these stars were not showing even though they were inside the box. So I double clicked into the box and I have access to dragging it the way I want it to be, right? As we go on, I'll show you how this works, especially with more dynamic type of images where you want some particular part of the image to show and not a particular part, okay? So once I drag this, you can see it's a different thing entirely. Double click, drag, and then there we go. Is everyone following me so far? Have I lost anyone?
No.
I'm following. Just
Okay,
wondering
cool.
how I spent so much time on this thing.
Don't worry,
You
it's
don't
part
want
of
to
it.
know I
Right?
haven't did it.
Don't worry,
I
it's
can't
fine.
even lie, I'm
Right.
lost, but no problem. I'll catch up.
Okay.
I'll go back to the
Don't worry.
video.
So I'll post the video so you can go back to the video, right? And I actually don't mind spending extra time outside 10 o'clock for those people who might have any issues or the other. Okay.
I'll be grateful.
All right. So so I've done this. Okay. I've placed the image on the background, right? So I think you understand it this far. Okay. Now I'm trying to find the exact this exact element. Okay. Okay, I checked flower, but it didn't show. So I'm going to check again because it's supposed to be under flower. So this is something similar, even though it's not exact. All right. And then now let me see the recommendations because they kind of have the same families, the same animation style. Okay, so this is not the type I'm looking for. All right. So I'm just going to continue searching. For the exact one I'm looking for. Okay, let me see. I'll check the recommendations to see if I find the exact one I'm looking for. Almost very close, but not exact. It's 10 o'clock already.
I think you can just go on it if you don't find the exact one, right?
Exactly. We can just pick anyone that is nice. I mean,
Let's just continue.
All right. So let me just work with this, right? Because obviously we can achieve something very similar, right? So let's assume I'm picking this shape, right? I'm just going to rotate this, right? Change the color to the circle color. I used all the colors were dark blue, so I'm just going to pick the same dark blue color for everything. Right now, it's going to look like one particular color, even though it was different colors before. Okay, so here we go. Right, I'm going to reduce the size. Now I'm going to change it back to the particular colors that I used, just so that we have the exact same thing like I designed. Okay. All right. So there we go. right? Now, next thing, International Women's Day. So I'm sure this was a difficult part for many people as well, finding the exact font I used. Okay, so I'm just going to come to text, click on heading, International.
So what's the name of the font?
The font's name is Hola. So this is exactly what I did. Now I'm trying to increase the size. Okay. Now can you see what I'm doing? What I'm doing is I pressed Alt, so it's increasing everything at the same time on every end. On Windows, it should be Windows on Alt is Option on Mac. Okay. So now just to change fonts. So the font I used is Hola. If it's a premium font, then so it's a premium font. You just need to find any other script font, all right? Or maybe not script or handwriting font. Okay, so this chicken script is a nice font, right? So I'm so sorry that Hola was actually a premium font. I forgot to confirm that, but it's very you can just get an alternative, and I'm going to explain the how to select different types of fonts in another class. So so this is obviously an element as well, if you look at this, right? So let me come to my elements, okay, and search for dots, right? So under dots, you see many different things. So another tip, right? Because of time, I would need to move forward to the actual thing I wanted to present today. Another tip is you need to master the names of the different types of elements. I'll share that with us in another class, right? Now, one of the most difficult things with using Canva is that many of the elements you are looking for are there, but you might not know how to find them if you don't know what they are called. Okay? So I'm going to show you, I'll explain the different names of the typical things that you might be looking for, how you can find them, what other alternative names you can use to find something that looks like something you're looking for, okay, in one of the subsequent classes, all right? So because of time, what I want to do now is I'll do the presentation I was supposed to do today. I will create, I would move this replicas to, so going forward, this is what I'm going to do. I'll make comments on the assignments after 10 o'clock, right? After the main presentation, okay? Does that work for everybody?
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah, I think it's better.
It does.
Exactly. Otherwise, we won't cover the major thing for the day, all right? And I feel like you might be fatigued already at this point, so it might be a little more difficult. So I apologize. I'm sorry. Let me quickly go over that. Now, because of many of the things I've taught you already, right? What I'm going to share with you now will be not very difficult, okay? So let me stop sharing my screen and find out what the morale is like. Is everyone in a good morale to have a quick presentation? I'll make it quick in 15 minutes so that we can leave by 10:20. Are we all good with that? I apologize for taking extra time.
I'm good.
No problem.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
no worries, master.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Very good.
Okay, good. So I'm going to share my slide. I'm going to share a slide with you now on okay. I'm going to share two slides, right? Because I want us to cover a lot, and there's still many things we're going to do. right? But let me share one slide first before I move to the next slide, okay? Now, this first slide is going to be pretty basic, and I want you to get it, okay? Hold on. I'm trying to get my slide. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. All right. This is a basic summary of principles of design. All right. If you attended the free class, I taught this already, but just for the benefit of those who might not have done it, and to refresh your mind if you've taken it before, and you just want to have an extra reminder of what the principles are. All right. Can you see my presentation now?
It was showing before, but now the screen is
The
blank.
screen is
Not yet.
white.
Not
The
yet.
screen is
It's
blank.
currently
It was showing
blank
before.
screen.
Okay.
I'm
Can you
sorry,
see it
TTR.
now?
Yeah, it's
No,
back.
no.
It's back.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I can't see
All right.
the screen.
So now, I remember explaining yesterday what the principles and elements are, right? The elements are the tools, the principles are the rules that guide how we use the tools, okay? So it's all crap. CRAP is a nice acronym, right? Because I want to be quick, please follow me. If you get lost at any point, don't forget to interject, okay? Are we good?
Yeah, good.
Yes.
All right. So, number one, the first thing good design does is communicate clearly. I didn't find it anywhere, so I quoted myself. I hope nobody has said it before. I didn't steal it. I thought about it. So the concept is, the point of a designer is to communicate an idea, right? And you want to ensure that you communicate your idea clearly. Now, what that means is, if I want to communicate chaos to you, I should be able to communicate chaos to you. If I want to communicate tranquility to you, I should be able to communicate tranquility to you, right? Depending on the type of elements that I use, how I arrange the elements, those types of things determine the type of things that I want to do, right? Now, for graphic design, many times we are communicating ideas that are text-based, right? So people are reading, people are seeing, right? So when you design something, make sure that you prioritize communication above aesthetics. All right. So what that means is, ensure that somebody can read your design, understand what you are saying above making it look nice. Okay. Obviously, they are not mutually exclusive, meaning that you can communicate your idea and make it look nice. But in order of preference is, make sure that it communicates before you try to make it look nice. Okay. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Is that confusing in any way?
Nope.
Absolutely.
No.
Good. All right. Okay, so this is like introduction about me. My name is David Rotimi, husband of Bora. My wife's name is Adibora. I'm pastor at Celebration Church, and I'm a graphic designer at One Campaign. All right, so right on to contrast. Right now, the simplest way I can explain contrast is difference. Okay, difference. Now, I don't want to read my slide to you. I'll share the slide with you so you can read it, but let me explain it. Contrast is simply trying to show the difference between two things, right? For example, white and gray, or no, let me not say, yellow and orange, okay? I want you to answer me now. Yellow and orange are two colors that are distinct. You can see them and you can separate them from each other, right? But yellow and black, you can also see them and distinct them clearly from each other. But yellow and black has a higher contrast because of the difference in tone and value. Do you understand that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say that again,
Right.
please. One more time.
All right. So
My
you know what?
pinky and my
Let me create a new sheet and explain it. Right. These are two elements, two squares, right? Duplicate. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Now we have two squares here very easily, right? Like I said, let me explain contrast again. Contrast is basically trying to show difference, all right? Ensuring that difference can stand apart from each other, all right? So the ways you can achieve contrast is through using different colors, using different tones or values, even if they are the same color, using shape or size, and using direction. Now, how does that work in practical terms? Let's use color, for example. I have two shapes beside me, right? They are both squares. They are both the exact same size. I want to create contrast, right? I can create contrast by changing the color of one of them. So, for example, if I have two shapes, this is dark blue and this is like this, right? Now, these two colors are obviously different, okay? But the contrast is not a lot because they are not too different from each other. If you lay them side by side, if you are not very close to it, you might think they are the same thing, all right? Now, compared to when you have black and let me find the very nice contrasting color, right? This is blue, right? Now, these two colors have a higher contrast than these two colors. Do you understand contrast in that sense of using color?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, yes.
Right? So this is basic principle of contrast, ensuring that two things are different from each other and they can stand apart, like they are visibly apart in the sense that you can see them apart from each other. Now, in practical terms, how does contrast work with colors, for example? Imagine that I have a blue background or no, a white background, right? I want to write let's see, I want to write Jesus loves you, right? Okay. Now, because black and white are very high contrasting colors, it's very visible, right? If I'm far away from here, I can see this clearly. Okay. Now, if I change this to gray, right? The contrast is low. Do you understand it now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, yeah. The visibility becomes minimal.
Exactly. It's not very visible. So contrast is trying to ensure that what you are showing is visible. Now, assume that, let's say, and now I just use color to explain contrast. All right. Let's assume that we have the same color, but I want to use size to create contrast. All right. So now, how does size work with contrast? Obviously, it's going to mean that one is going to be much bigger than the other, even though they are the exact same size. Okay. So another way to describe contrast is to use the word emphasis, although it's not a very direct explanation, but you can have a good idea of understanding it that way, right? So what that means is I want you to see what I'm emphasizing. All right. So if let's say all these two designs, we are using the exact same. Now I'm going to change the font to we'll use the same font, right? Horizon. Let's say I'm using horizon. Okay, right? For the two texts. Okay. Now, the same texts, the same font, the same color because they are both black. All right. But you can see that Jesus is more visible than loves you, right? That's my attempt to emphasize the Jesus in this design. Okay, do you understand?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So if I'm designing a banner, for example, right, the biggest thing in that design is what I want you to see first. So that element needs to have a very high contrast. Okay, so let's assume that they are the same size. Okay, the same size. Let me change the size to 45, right? The same size, actually, right? I've used color, okay? So let's say if I change the color of this to blue and I change the color of this to yellow, right? You can see the contrast in color. I can see them very differently, right? I can still see Jesus more visibly than loves you. And that's because I used a stronger color or a darker color. Do you understand? They are the same size, the same font, but just different color. Okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how contrast works. All right. Contrast is basically showing how you can emphasize something, making a difference. When I say making a difference, I don't mean it in the sense, but just creating unique elements to stand apart from each other. All right. So you can use shape to do the exact same thing, right? Imagine that I had all 4 squares, right? 1, duplicate, 2, duplicate, 4, duplicate, and then I duplicate, right? Now imagine that I have this number of squares on this design, okay?
how did you duplicate everything together?
Control D.
Oh,
Highlighting.
okay. All right. So once you highlight it to duplicate, so if I select this and I click duplicate, it's going to duplicate that one thing. But if I select everything like this and I duplicate, it will duplicate everything I selected.
Okay.
You
I've seen. Okay, I've seen it.
Good. All right. So now imagine that all these boxes are the exact same size and the exact same color, right? But I want to create contrast and I'm not going to use color and I'm not going to use size. I'm just going to use a different shape. All right. So if I change this square to a rectangle, all right, and it's maintaining the same color, your eyes automatically go to the circle because it's the most different thing. True or false?
Yes, true.
True.
Exactly. It's the exact same color, almost the exact same size, but it's just a different shape. Okay. So you can use color to create contrast, use shape to create contrast, use direction to create contrast, and use tone to create contrast, especially if you're using the same color. Okay. So that's a basic way of explaining contrast. All right. So you can use color changes in hue, intensity, and value to create contrast, darker or lighter shades of color, size of text, of image or object. Right. So you can see this image, the colorful umbrella stands out very, very obviously, right? Because it's different from every other one in terms of color, right? Next slide, you can see the same thing here. All these boats are the exact same size, but one is red, and that's the one that stands out. Okay, do you understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when we're going to work on some practice designs. I'll give you some assignments of your tomorrow, right? And then on Friday, we're going to do some practice designs, and I'll explain how these elements come to play in practice. Okay, are we good?
Yeah.
All right, so let me explain repetition. Right now, repetition breeds cohesiveness in the design. When you repeat something, you create a pattern. All right, and repetition is one of the ways you can actually create contrast. For example, if you remember when I was doing the squares, I had to repeat the squares for it to show a difference. Okay? So if there's no repetition, sometimes it's difficult to create a contrast. All right? So look at this, right? Repeating visual elements throughout the design creates repetition. All right. So here the repeated element is obviously the circle. All right. Now, in terms of branding, I'm going to explain that more during the course of this course. Using the same heading or hierarchy and fonts throughout, that repetition gives a nice flow. Okay, using the same as alignment throughout a document, using the same colors, using the same logos or images and branding. All right. So look at this. Obviously, you can just see that the elements are repeated and it creates a nice pattern. Okay. Same thing here. Right. Repetition is memorable, and maintaining visual structure throughout the design, it promotes focus and consistency. So obviously, when you see this brand anywhere, right, because of the repeated elements on the brand, it's very easily recognizable anywhere else. All right. So if you had seen only this one and you had not seen this one, when you see this one after seeing this one, you have a good idea that, oh, they must be from the same producers. So it's the designer trying to help your mind to link two different products that you might have never seen by using the exact same elements in the exact same way. Okay. So that's how repetition works. Now I'm going to show you something and I want you to pay attention. Are you all paying attention at this time? You can just say yes.
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 I'm going to make you read something and let me know if it works on you. It's kind of like magic. All right.
Okay.
Did it happen the exact way you predicted you were reading?
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
Not for me.
Okay, what was the first thing you read?
What was the question,
First,
please?
you read this.
I read the
I
first
said
line first.
you read the first line first,
Yeah.
and then you continued down, right? Okay, maybe it's because I
Yes.
prepared your mind too much. Typically,
Yeah, I
right?
didn't read the top one.
It's because I prepared
I
your mind
actually
too
read
much.
the bolder. I read the bolder one first. I read first. You'll read this, then the next one, then the next one.
Come on,
Right.
intuitively, you read the bolder first now. Then
I
the
read the
Exactly.
smaller one.
boldest first.
Exactly.
The difference was
That's
I
how it
didn't read
works.
the one on
she's
top.
unique.
I read the
Just
one
like
on
the
top
boat in
last. Then
the
this.
contrast.
I read it
All
last.
right. All right.
She
So basically, I'll
contrast.
explain how this works, right? When I'm explaining hierarchy, all right. But remember, I was showing you yesterday about how Canva intuitively helps you create hierarchy in your design, right? So when it comes to text, can you see add a heading? Add a heading looks like this exact same style. Add a subheading. This is like a subheading. Body
Yes.
text. This is like the body. Can you see the synergy?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you are starting to make some designs, you start to apply all these things that you are seeing when you are creating your designs to ensure that you move your viewers in the direction you want them to. All right. So they don't misread your design, or they don't emphasize, or you don't emphasize the wrong thing when you're supposed to emphasizing something else entirely. All right. So let me just continue because we are supposed to be out of time already. Alignment, right? I feel like alignment is not a difficult word to everyone, right? So basically, properly aligning means that elements will be visually connected to each other. All right. Now, look at this image. It's very obvious that every other thing is aligned, one is not aligned, right? And you can tell that that one is kind of like out of place. But it being out of place also makes it have some form of contrast, true or false?
True.
Right? Somehow, when you see this, your eyes automatically go to not aligned because you're
Not
like, why is
aligned.
everything shaped?
Like, why are you
You understand?
standing up? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's a designer's way of moving your eyes in that direction. And then when you finally see that, then you can now start looking at the rest. Okay. So In alignment, everything should have a visual connection with something else, and then choose a hard line and stick with it throughout all the materials. It's typically left, right, or center alignment. Okay, so look at this design, right? If you look at this first one, you can tell that it just looks really, really weird, really, really weird, right? Because it's not aligned. You have all the information, you have good hierarchy, but you don't have proper alignment. Can you see the difference?
Yes.
Washington State University is the biggest thing, as it should be, right? And then all the other things are actually given their appropriate sizes, but it is not properly aligned. So if you see what you have here, here it's properly aligned to the left, here it's properly aligned to the center, and here it's properly aligned to the right. Okay, so when we are designing, I'm going to be explaining what different alignments you might be using. All right, is this clear? And is anybody lost at this point?
It is clear.
All right. Good. So let me move to good alignment. Obviously, now when you look at this, you can see that they are obviously different shapes in different sizes, but you can tell that they are properly arranged. All right. Same here. You can see the same thing, but it's obviously not arranged. The exact same amount of elements, the exact same number of elements, almost similar arrangement, but poor alignment. Okay. Here, they are kind of aligned, the exact same elements, but they are aligned to different levels. Now, as a beginner designer, I would advise you to stick to one form of alignment, okay? But when you start becoming professional, you can start to mix around the different types of alignments, all right? Look at these beautifully aligned elements, right? This is what I want your designs to look like, properly aligned, all right? Proximity, right? Now, proximity allows for visual unity in the design. Obviously, when two elements are related, they should be close to each other, all right? On Friday, I'm going to practice this with us, okay? When you group things together, they should be grouped. They obviously have an association, all right? So look at this, right? When you look at this, you can tell that there seems to be not a good proximity. Everything is just kind of scattered together. But when you look here, you can see that everything is arranged, okay? When you're looking for apples, you know where to look. When you're looking for oranges, you know where to look. When you're looking for red apples, you know where to look. When you're looking for green apples, you know where to look, right? So it's kind of like just arranging things in such a way that the viewer is not having a hard time finding the information that needs to be seen, okay? That's the importance of proximity. Right, now look at this design, okay? Almost the exact same information, but different arrangements. So when you look at this, it just feels like everything is mumbled up. But here you can see the arrangement of the different dances under. So under smooth, you have waltz, tango, foxtrot, quick stop. Under rhythm, you have cha-cha, rumba, bolero, mambo, right? So your eyes kind of move the direction of what is organized. It's like nature in itself, where you just realize that some things are usually together, okay? So it's a designer's way of moving your eyes in the direction of what is grouped together, and when you're finding information, you don't have a hard time finding information because they are grouped together, okay? Same thing here, right? You can see that all these elements, these texts, they are just written in the exact same style. It's aligned, but it doesn't have good proximity. Okay, you can see that it's actually left aligned, but you can see that there's no hierarchy and proximity. Okay, so here we have hierarchy. June's virtual office hours is the biggest thing. Okay, now proximity means that you're going to put Wednesday, June 2016 and time together. For example, when you look at banners most times, you see that topic is somewhere, speakers are somewhere else, date, time, venue are usually together. Is that true or false?
True.
Right. True. So that's the design way of arranging all the information to ensure that you don't have a hard time finding what you're looking for. All right.
Yeah.
So four of them simply, once again, contrast, which is simply making elements different. It increases understanding in terms of the viewer's visual reception. Repetition, repeating visual elements to create strong unity. Alignment, nothing should be placed arbitrarily. Placement illustrate relationship. All right. Proximity. Related items should be placed together. All right. Don't reinvent the wheel.
I
Just
see how
improvise
you
and
use
customize.
colors to highlight the acronym CRAP.
Exactly. So you can see the contrast I'm making here with. Thank you very much. You're paying
Yeah.
attention. So right, I did the exact same thing here. Like I wasn't even noticing that I did it, but obviously it makes sense because it's part of me already. Right. So don't reinvent the wheel, just improve and customize it or customize it. Basically, you don't have to design everything from scratch. Copy as many things as you can. Like there are so many things that have been designed that you don't need to redesign again. Okay, so like you saw that background, I just literally copied it from somewhere, put in my design to make my design nice. All right, so while you're designing, you don't have to create everything from scratch. Okay, basic color types. I'm just going to go over this really quickly. No, I don't think I should go over this. I'll go over this from next class. All right, on Friday. Okay, because I don't want to bombard you with too much information. All right. Does anyone have any questions at this point?
No.
It's very unrelated though. Did you design these slides with Canva?
Yes, I designed everything with Canva.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll show you how to make. Yeah, don't worry, all of you will get here. If you don't get here in this course, you're not going to graduate.
Amen.
You will repeat.
Can't wait. Okay.
You don't get. If you cannot repeat this thing, you will repeat this class. All right. So so tomorrow I'll continue from colors, and then we'll move into all the other elements. I'll send the assignment for today on the group, right? On the WhatsApp group. Okay. If there are no questions, I think we can move on, and then I'll make some comments after 10 o'clock. Right, comments on the designs and stuff like that. So from 9 o'clock, I'm going to go right into the main topic for the day, do it for 1 hour, and then by 10 o'clock, I'll make a correction and all of that. Is that good?
Good to go.
All right.
Yes.
Someone suggested. All right, thank you. Someone suggested that we migrate to Telegram, right? And Telegram, because when new people are added, they don't like. I think Telegram has a way of keeping all the information that you put without having to repeat it so many times. And then also, someone suggested Zoom as a better platform for video, for streaming. So maybe I want to. That's fine with us. I'll test using Zoom on Friday. If the experience is better, then we'll just migrate to Zoom. If it's not better, then we'll know that maybe it's a network issue. All right. Can we do that on Friday?
Absolutely.
Yes, we can.
All right. We'll
Yeah,
try Zoom
sure.
Friday. Yeah. If it works, fine. And then, are we all also good with the Telegram idea?
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
WhatsApp group migrating to Telegram.
Yes.
Well, I'm not. Let's see.
Well, if the membership are not many,
I might miss a lot of
so that-
information if it's on Telegram because I don't really check it. Notifications on Telegram don't work like WhatsApp.
I think the only
So
advantage
let's
of
just.
Telegram are people. I mean, number of people. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, but whatever the
Okay,
majority.
so I think it was a suggestion actually, but I think it might not be necessary. I think we'll just stick to WhatsApp since WhatsApp is actually working fine and we're not having any major
the
issues.
emphasis should be for the classes, the best experience they can get for class.
Okay. So I'll try.
I have an alternate suggestion though.
Okay.
That yes, since your reason for suggesting Telegram was in the event that new people join the group, they don't miss messages that have been posted ahead of time. If we can, for example, maybe Folu can serve as maybe like a rep or something. Whenever any new person is added, he can just forward all the previous messages on the group to the person. Yeah, so I think Folu will do that perfectly. So we can stay on WhatsApp. Folu or Femi.
Yeah.
Femi can do it. Femi, why are you quiet?
You nominating people can't be class rep.
I can't hear again.
Wow. Okay.
All right, no problem. Let's just I think anyone can just do that to keep whoever joins. I mean, I don't think anyone should be joining at this point because they've gone too far. So
I know,
whoever
right?
wants to join should join. Yeah. So we'll stay on WhatsApp. Try Zoom on Friday, and if the experience is better, we'll migrate to Zoom. If not, we'll just go back to Teams. Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Master.
All right. So we
Thanks,
can call it.
sir.
I'll put the assignment on WhatsApp, and then
You should make the assignment to have this time.
it won't be difficult.
The merciful unto us.
Come again?
Hi, Ray.
No, that's not really. That's from somebody's group. Very sleeping.
Ah.
All right, guys. Have a good night. See you on Friday, and expect my message on WhatsApp tomorrow morning.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Stop recording. How does it stop recording? Stop recording.